All right, tonight I'm going to show you a hack for Google My Business. Okay, if you're a real estate agent, you're watching this video, I'm going to show you something that your competitors are not doing that you can do that is going to help you beat. Sorry for the pause, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still getting used to live streaming. So, and then once this is live streamed, it's going to be uploaded to my YouTube channel. Give me a second here. You should all now be able to see my screen, okay, which is pointed here. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a blog post that we have on InboundREM. The actual website address to this blog post is inboundrem.com/Google-business-profile-citations. Now, in case you don't know who I am, my name is Robert Newman. I am arguably one of the most experienced real estate SEO professionals in the US. I focused on residential real estate SEO for the last 16 years. I've worked with some of the top agents in the entire country for any number of different subjects. I now own my own agency, InboundREM, which is 25 people all over the world that build real estate websites and also have a hyper-local service specifically for realtors that is designed to help them rank number 1, 2, or 3 in the hyperlocal search packet. Now, an example of that is going to be something like, let's just do real estate marketing company, Los Angeles, which is where I'm at. And you'll see here that we're number 2. We essentially usually dominate the ranking. Part of this is going to be where you're located, and the other thing is I use the keyword Los Angeles, and I'm actually located in Van Nuys. Generally speaking, you can see here, like anywhere within 80 to 100 miles of doing a search that relates to me, real estate websites, real estate marketing company, real estate SEO, I'm always number 1, 2, or 3. So I've had a lot of success with ranking not only myself, but my customers 1, 2, or 3. And why would you want to do that? Google My Business searches have increased by 50 to 80% over the last 3 years. It's the only kind of marketing that's going to be bulletproof moving into the future. In other words, most of the people doing these searches are doing searches related to being a realtor. Okay, they're saying realtors near me, realtors in, best realtor in, I want to list my home, homes for sale in. And what they're looking for very specifically is, generally speaking, 80% of those searches are listing searches. So no matter what way lawsuits with NAR goes, the future of the industry goes, other big competitors for search such as ChatGPT or AI, the one thing that I would guarantee almost anybody that for the next 3 to 5 years is going to be absolutely bulletproof is going to be this hyperlocal search packets. And because this ranking, now Google may change the way that this search looks, but they will not be changing one of the most profitable areas of search marketing, especially not one that nobody can compete with. This hyperlocal, this Google Maps stuff that you're looking at, Apple's not really competing very well. Microsoft certainly isn't competing very well. Nobody can touch Google in this category. And as they build up these reviews and get people who've been out here for a long time, like investing in their profile, they gain an absolutely unstoppable market advantage, because who wants to spend all this time building up another profile like this? You have to have the traffic to get the people to do the work, and nobody's even coming close. There could be a competitor somewhere in the future. I certainly leave room for that, but is it going to happen like in the next couple of years? Not likely. All right. So having said that, hopefully you've gotten an idea of why you might want to focus on ranking your own profile as a real estate agent. So presuming that you're convinced, how do you rank these profiles? Well, there's lots of ways, and I'm going to talk about one of the most under-known ways or least known ways right now. This signal accounts for about 25 to 30% of your ranking score inside your Google business profile. All right, what they're called is citations, which you may have heard, but Citations are fancy way of saying that Google wants to have a way to measure how long you've been in business, how deep is your expertise, how deep is your authority inside the vertical that you've chosen for yourself, which is a real estate agent. And the way that they do that, or the best way that they do that, is they're looking for actual listings inside like directories. All right. Because many directories are what are called manually reviewed, or at a minimum these days, they use AI to check your address versus other online things that you've registered with. Like, to get a deeper understanding of that, Yahoo, Google, a couple of other services, they physically mail you postcards to the address that you list that and you say is part of your business. And until you get that postcard and then read like a password off it, you can't actually build the profile. Now that is a manual verification, very difficult to fake out, which means that for the most part, Google really does have a fairly good understanding of where your business is physically located. Now, you can say you don't have a physical address, but Google will not rank you locally if that's what you decide to do. A citation is a name, address, and phone number, sometimes referred to as NAPs. The places that you want to put your name, address, and phone number is oftentimes it's a secret kind of. It's a thing that most of my competitors wouldn't talk to you about. They wouldn't say, these are the best places, the most authoritative places to put your name, address, and phone number. So what this video is tonight is, number one, letting you know that this is really important. It's a ranking factor. Number two, I'm going to pull back the curtain and actually just save you all the time in the world and tell you where to go, put your name, address, and phone number. All right? I'm literally going to give you the hack tonight. And if you, for some reason, watch this video and maybe you're more of a reader than you are a writer, believe it or not, we posted this information on a blog post for anybody to access for free. There's no money requirement, just a little bit of your time to go ahead and utilize the post. Coming to your citation mistakes to avoid. So we've also gone ahead and explained to you, like you might be saying, oh yeah, but what are the secrets to filling out these forms? Well, we saved you the time. We're going to tell you the top 10 mistakes that we've seen people make and how to avoid them. All right, they're right here. Inconsistent information, incomplete, many different citations from many different iterations of your business. It's why you occasionally want to audit duplicate listings, neglected reviews and ratings, in other words, non-responded reviews, ignoring updates and changes, overlooking local keywords, not leveraging visuals, disregarding analytics, and failing to verify listings. It's a process. I'm not going to lie to anybody. The reason that it's such a good hack is because everybody doesn't usually have the patience to do it correctly. So oftentimes what's going to happen is you're going to submit a listing request, like I'd like to list my business with the white pages online. And then the white pages will review your request. They'll go through a little internal auditing process. Then they'll email you back and say, all right, all you have to do now is manually verify this email and we will let you have a listing on the white pages. By the way, we want you to go back to the listing and fill it out with some additional questions. Now, that's the verify listings. The best directories, the one that Google considers have the most authority, have these 1, 2, and 3-step processes, because very few people have the patience to go through those steps, which makes them extremely reputable. Google wants to know that your business and you are real, live businesses that care about your online reputation. They don't care about the marketing part. They care about their audience's experiences with you. So from their perspective, think of it like your Google. It is fine to make you jump through 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different hoops before they make you number 1, 2, or 3 for a highly critical search that relates to your profession in your own market. They only want the most dedicated, diligent of professionals taking calls from clients that Google sends to you. They are ultimately somewhat responsible for the experience that everybody has when they do call you. So just think of it from that perspective. Now, without any further ado, drum roll, please. Here are your top 50 places that you can list your real estate business. And this is real estate specific, by the way. So not only are these citations relevant, they're relevant to your particular business. Every single one of these guides has a link. I've done all the work for you. All right, you do not need to go to any of these places. All you need to do is click the links on my site, and it'll take you to where all of these places are. Some require a little bit of intuitiveness, like Facebook is a Facebook page. All right, LinkedIn is just send me back to my own site. Yeah. All right. So LinkedIn, you may have to do a little bit of research. Yahoo. Need to fix that. Yelp. Okay. You have to figure some of these out, like how to do Yelp, how to do Bing, how to do Foursquare. But we did list the sites. You can go here. We can click the links. You can go to the sites. You can go to Nextdoor, Merchant Circle. These are the best places to verify a business, to create a profile page, and then direct it back to your website, which, by the way, for those very small handful of you that might be interested in not only a hack for your hyperlocal profile, your real estate agent local profile, but let's say you have a real estate website as well, and you're wondering, does any of this correlate into ranking on the website? And the answer is hell yes. If you did all 50 of these and listed your website on every single one of these, you would automatically increase your domain authority. In other words, to put this simply and stop using jargon, it would increase the visible signals that Google looks for to say that you're an experienced, authoritative professional. That's what they look at. The current Google search guidelines, which were just announced in 2023, moving into 2024, is experience, expertise, authority, and trust. This verifies a lot of that. The age of your directory listings, how long you've maintained them, how consistent are they throughout all 50? These are all signals to Google about whether or not you're an engaged business owner or service provider. Okay, think about it. Maybe most of you aren't the kind of people that would be paying attention to where you are in online directories, but 1 out of every 100 people that watches this video are going to be like, oh yeah, I get it. I don't want my directory, the best of the web, BOTW. Okay, it's not a very well-known site, but it's top 100 in the country, and you probably haven't heard of it. So, but for those very small handful of you that have, you'd be like, oh yeah, I don't want my listing in this like top 100 website to be anything less than up to date and accurate, maybe with a couple pictures of my business. Now, most of you obviously don't think or feel that way. Most of you think that these sites scrape. These that we've listed here are not scraping sites. You must manually enter. There's a couple of points of communication backwards and forwards, or two-way communication. That's why they're so valuable. That's why Google thinks that these things are so valuable, is because it takes you a little bit of time. Now, oh wait, I'm sorry. These are the top 50 free citation business directories. These are the top 50 citations for real estate agents specifically. All right, we've got 2 lists. My content team is extraordinary, by the way. So you look in here, you can find 2 different sets of directories for a total of probably 75 to 100 citations. This list is more than big enough for most of you, okay? In other words, if you're looking for a way to propel your hyperlocal ranking and you're looking for a hack, you've got it right here. You come to the InboundREM website, you look up the Google Business Profile Citations link, and then you just follow along the article. Now, there is one last little bit, and it's the only plug that you're going to get from us. There are going to be some of you that have money but not time, or a budget but not time, but you really do want this kind of ranking. And you're probably asking yourself the question, can you help us with it? The answer is absolutely. My team will do all of this for you. They'll submit the directories, they'll track them, they'll report back into you about what's going on, and you'll get a call once every 30, 60, or 90 days, depending on the level that you sign up on. And the agent will review for you something like this. So we have tools that we use, ranking tools, and we'll track keywords for you, and we'll go out and we'll do your citations, and we'll basically have you look at ranking. You can see here that when we started, we were the yellow, the orange isn't as good, and we've got quite a few keywords that we're tracking. When we started, we were only like one green. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these hyperlocal keywords that we're ranking for, which yields about 300 to 500 people, and it's got 20 calls in the last 5 months for this particular client. Now, close ratio the last time I checked was about 20%, so we've probably generated 2, 3 contracts for this client in about 8 months, is what I would guess. Now, for them, comparatively, that is at least an 8 to 10 to 1 ROI for this particular client. This is a very low-hanging piece of fruit in terms of most real estate agents. The competition is very low. Very few real estate agents have any idea what they're doing with their hyperlocal profile. And so if you're just looking for a fast hack, an inexpensive form of marketing, our campaigns are $1,500 to set up and $500 a month, and you get a dedicated team of people that help you with the videos, the images. It takes about 2 hours per month of your own time, and maybe an additional hour communicating to our team. So let's just call it 3 hours a month. So for those very small handful of you that are looking for somebody else to do the work, you can email me at robert@inboundrem.com. There is a link to my calendar under the services page. No need to email me. You can just go here, and somewhere towards the bottom of the page, there will be a calendar somewhere. Hold on. Yeah. Here we go. All that link anywhere on it says schedule a meeting, just click schedule and you will get into my calendar. That's it. Okay. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that I've been helpful. Please do me a favor. The first and foremost priority of this video is to tell you how to do this yourself. So for all of these like struggling and are looking for a way to increase your marketing and may not have a budget, this video was primarily for you. So please let me know if I did a good job. And for those of you who have budget and are looking for a way to hack your marketing in 2024 that's going to free you from other marketing companies, that's going to keep you clear of Zillow, that's going to keep you inoculated against the NAR, rulings, and I can go on and on. Hyper local is where it's at. You're going to hear me talking about it a lot because I feel like it's one of the most bulletproof, fastest results type of SEO that we can talk about. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time.